If you're looking for a wearable tracking device that won't be triggering to your disordered eating, I have an option for you, especially if you're somebody with chronic health issues. If you've tried other wearable devices that have been activating for you, this one might be for you. It's called Visible. I believe their website is like Wear Visible. I'm not sure. I'm not actually getting paid for this. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with it. So I often have clients who want to wear their tracking devices, and we talk about like, what is it tracking? If it's tracking how many calories are you burning, for example, that could be really activating for disordered eating, eating disorders, and even for body image struggles. So I typically don't recommend that type of tracking. I also don't recommend people write down everything that they're eating or how much of things they're eating, because all of that can be that old diet culture pattern or habit. But as someone who has chronic illness and some disabilities, I was really finding I was struggling to know how much energy I had to spend in a day, becoming kind of a spoonie, and recognize that it would be helpful to see like, oh yeah, the trend is my heart rate is beating faster, or my heart rate variability has gone down, for example. So I decided to try this app and device. I believe it's $20 a month for the app itself for the tracking, and then the device is maybe like $100 or $80. So, not super cheap, but also not, so much out of the price range for a lot of people. What I did like about it is that it kind of just quietly did things, and then every now and then it would let me know like, hey, you may use up all your energy today, basically. They call them pace points, and the pace points are something that it tracks a trend of over a week or so, and then it lets you know like, okay, you're using about this much in a day, and then when you're using this much, that's when you kind of have a crash. And so it'll give you a budget, a pace point budget. And this budget I found pretty accurate. Like if I went past that, I typically was then overdoing it and was needing more rest. It also lets you know like, oh, it's only 11 o'clock and you've already used, half your kind of pace budget. So you may go over, right? So it'll send you these little notifications like, hey, you might want to take it easy. Your heart rate's high, or, you may notice that so far you're using your way more than you normally should at this point in the day. And I appreciated that because it felt like that's kind of what I needed to learn my new energy demands and my new energy like output, and what was balanced and then what was beyond that. I remember one time I went to this conference and it was, something I was really excited about, and I was walking all over and it was getting kind of late and I had to go lay down, and I was like, wanting to go back and participate, but I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. And then I looked at my phone and realized that I had used, I think my pace budget for a day was like 24 points or something along that. And I'd already used like almost 80. So I was like, oh, yeah, no wonder I physically can't move right now. So yeah, I liked it for those things. I also appreciated the way that you could compare different trends. So you can compare like your pace points, how much pace points you're using in a day, and then you can compare that to your overall like scoring with symptoms, for example, or you can compare your heart rate to how well you slept, something like that. So they have different options for comparison, and you can compare it over a long term or you can compare it short term. And this I think was really helpful because it was difficult for me to see day to day. Like I could know, okay, I overdid it today and then I'd have a crash, but to see the like longer term trends of, oh yeah, okay, so I overdid it, and then I crashed for like several days, or wow, I really stayed in my pace budget and like did my energy or capacity grow during that time, or did it pretty much stay the same? So I could also track whether certain treatments were having an impact and helpful. I found all of this to be really helpful. There were a few things I didn't love about the app. Definitely having a monthly fee is $20 can be taxing after a while. I also would get tired sometimes of going in. You can go in at night and like just give all your symptoms a score, and sometimes it was like, I don't know, like seems about the same as usual. They do have an option of just like keep it all the same so that you don't have to re-click every one. If you're like, yeah, it was about like yesterday. But it did get kind of tiring after a while to always be thinking about like, what are my symptoms? What's going on? I also didn't like that I couldn't just check my heart rate variability whenever I wanted. You do a morning check-in and an evening check-in and it calculates your heart rate variability at that point. I think that can be really good for some people who are overly focused on symptoms or overly focused on like what's happening with my body. Having that constant heart rate variability available sometimes can be more active activating or can put you more into that anxious, preoccupied attachment style with your illness or even with your food intake. So, that's good and bad. I personally have been in recovery from eating disorder for a really long time, and I do this work. I help people with their relationship with food and body, so pretty solid in mine, and I am not activated by that typically. You can see your heart rate anytime, and so you can kind of watch it, like run up the stairs, oh, okay, or for me, sometimes just standing up or whatever it is, it's going up, or noticing like, oh, I've been sitting and resting for a while and it's not going down. So clearly, there's a lot going on for me. I also liked that it generally had awareness of like how taxing something was, although I think it's typically based on your heart rate. And so your heart rate might be elevated, maybe just watching like a scary movie or something, and it could tell you like, hey, chill out. It's like, oh, I'm not doing anything active right now. You also don't have the ability to like add in pace points. So like if you forgot to charge it and you have to charge it, it might think that you only used half of your daily allowance, but actually that you ran around and did stuff the same as you normally would. So I would have liked that option as well. The company does seem pretty responsive when I've messaged them about concerns or needs, and it seems like they're trying to work through things. I really like that this is specifically built for people with chronic health issues, disabilities such as POTS or dysautonomia or all kinds of things. I think that we need more of this in the industry, so it also felt good to support it. All right, I'll show you what it looks like, and let me know if you have any questions. So got a pretty good size band, not gonna fit on everyone's upper arm. I did give them feedback about that, and on their website I think they have some like recommended alternative bands. You could easily put the actual tracker on whatever band you want. There it is. It's not on right now, but normally these would be lit up, and then it just slides. And you can make it smaller and put it on your forearm, but it won't fit on your wrist. Like my wrist isn't tiny and it would never fit. So somebody with a smaller wrist than me, or even, bigger wrist than me, probably won't fit. But I overall liked it and would recommend it, but know that it's going to take time, right? There's like a ramping up where you're getting used to tracking your symptoms, you're adding in symptoms, it's calculating like how much energy you're using day per day. So it takes a couple weeks for it to get fully acclimated and for you to get used to it as well. I hope this was helpful, and reach out if you have questions. Be sure to subscribe if you want more information about becoming securely attached with food, your body, and yourself.